Respected colleagues and participants at the ADB Global Union Federation Forum in Tashkent, I send you greetings. I'm Peter Waldorff, the General Secretary of Public Services International. I'm sorry I cannot be there in person with you. I speak on behalf of the 20 million working women and men that our Global Union Federation represents. Public Services International has a strong presence in the Asia Pacific. Our many union members are actively supported by dedicated PSI staff working around the region. Decent work and development for all, that's what we aim to achieve in working with the Asian Development Bank. We're proud to work in partnership with other Global Union Federations, civil society groups, and with the national governments of ADB donor countries. We also work through the United Nations agencies, the International Labour Organization, and various international financial bodies to effect positive change. Our members believe that investment in quality public services is key to building sustainable, just societies. Stable public jobs and services will help us survive any economic crisis. Now, the ADB may focus on a consumer-driven recovery strategy, but as you heard loudly and clearly at the recent ILO and ADB meeting, any post-crisis agenda for Asia must include decent jobs, respect for workers' rights, and the provision of quality public services. The same business-as-usual policies will not deliver sustainable growth. Workers must have a say in economic solutions. Budget deficits and debts must not be used as an excuse to cut public services. Public spending investment will spur sustainable growth, and a focus on social protection is central to sustainable recovery. Taking these important steps can help avoid a longer-term social crisis that would be a result from a jobless growth recovery. Further to the Asian Development Bank's stated goal of poverty reduction and inclusive development, we urge the bank to pursue its mission based on the principles of human rights and social justice. This must be supported by a commitment to sincere social dialogue. For several years now, global unions have been urging the ADB to ensure that core labor standards are respected in its projects. Despite the bank's professed support for these policies, I know I'm not alone in saying that the ADB often gives little more than lip service to core labor standards compliance. Gross violations of trade union rights and labor laws have taken place in the ADB-funded projects, and the ADB has allowed country clients to avoid engaging in accountable labor policies. We have numerous proposals for how this situation can be improved. The ADB's social protection strategy and the handbook on core labor standards are designed to guide staff on how to apply core labor standards in the bank's operations. However, there has been no adequate structure within the ADB responsible for enforcing these policies and guidelines. Such a structure needs to be developed together with the Global Union Federations. We call on the ADB to create a labor desk that is properly funded and supported by experienced staff to ensure ILO core labor standards and the decent work agenda are applied. We are confident that the ADB has the resources needed to create this labor desk. Together, we can work to improve the lives of Asian workers who are entitled to their rightful share in the wealth and development created in this region. Public Services International is committed to continuing our efforts to achieve decent work and development for all. PSI will continue to train union leaders and equip them with the skills to participate in consultation on ADB activities, raise awareness of workers and members about their rights and how to deal with privatization and job violations, involve unions and workers in joint research to identify impacts of ADB activities on workers' jobs and collect information on violations of core labor standards, conduct public education campaigns, and establish the best practice case studies and share experiences between countries and projects. In conclusion, we call on the ADB to take specific, immediate action to put quality jobs and public services at the heart of economic recovery. Comply with core labor standards and uphold migrant workers' rights. Create the labor desk. Engage in joint project research with global union federations and our affiliates. Open opportunities for labor to second staff to the ADB. Work with us to jointly develop a meaningful social dialogue process and introduce a financial transaction tax and adopt an international solidarity levy. Thank you for your attention to these issues. I look forward to hearing about the positive results of this meeting.